In today's episode, witness the sudden attacks, the epic battles, and the heroic stands that changed everything.
In 1914, as Europe erupted into war, President Woodrow Wilson pledged American neutrality. Across the Atlantic, busy industrial factories hummed, supplying materials to Allied nations. Tensions spiked in 1915 when a German submarine sank the British passenger liner Lusitania. By 1917, unrestricted submarine warfare pushed the United States to declare war on Germany. Millions of American doughboys mobilized, bringing fresh strength to the exhausted Western Front. At home, women filled vital factory roles, paving the way for profound social change. The war ended in late 1918, positioning America as a premier global superpower. President Wilson championed his 14 points to secure a lasting democratic world peace. In 1919, the Senate rejected the League of Nations, choosing domestic isolationism instead.
The 1920s began with the ratification of the 19th Amendment, granting women the vote. Prohibition banned alcohol, quickly giving rise to notorious speakeasies and organized crime. Assembly lines, perfected by Henry Ford, made automobiles affordable for average families. The Harlem Renaissance celebrated Black culture through vibrant literature and jazz music. Radio broadcasts and cinema screens created a vibrant, shared national culture across America. Wall Street soared to unprecedented heights during a decade of wild, unchecked speculation. In October 1929, the stock market crashed, shattering the illusion of eternal prosperity. Panic quickly swept the nation as banks collapsed and personal savings evaporated overnight. The golden decade ended abruptly, leaving millions of Americans facing a grim future.
By 1930, bread lines stretched across major cities as unemployment soared to historic heights. Severe droughts created the devastating Dust Bowl, forcing Midwestern farmers to flee westward. Franklin Delano Roosevelt won the presidency in 1932, promising a transformative New Deal. In his first 100 days, Roosevelt launched massive federal relief and recovery programs. Agencies like the Civilian Conservation Corps put millions of young men back to work. The Social Security Act of 1935 established a permanent safety net for elderly citizens. Labor unions grew stronger as workers demanded fair wages and better factory conditions. Despite bold federal efforts, full economic recovery remained elusive throughout the decade. As the 1930s closed, dark clouds of conflict gathered once again over Europe.
World War II began in 1939, but America initially chose to remain officially neutral. The Lend-Lease Act allowed the nation to supply vital war materials to desperate allies. On December 7, 1941, Japan launched a devastating surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. Congress immediately declared war, thrusting the United States into a massive global struggle. Millions of citizens enlisted, while factories converted overnight to produce military weapons. Women like Rosie the Riveter became lasting symbols of domestic industrial strength. In June 1944, Allied forces invaded Normandy, marking the beginning of Nazi defeat. President Roosevelt passed away in 1945, leaving Harry Truman to lead the nation. Atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki forced Japan to surrender, ending the war.
Post-war America experienced a massive baby boom and rapid, sprawling suburban development. The landmark GI Bill allowed millions of returning veterans to attend college.
Rising tensions with the Soviet Union sparked the Cold War, dividing the globe. In 1950, American forces deployed to defend South Korea from communist forces. Back home, the Red Scare, led by Senator McCarthy, fueled widespread domestic paranoia. The interstate highway system began in 1956, transforming American travel and commerce. In 1954, the Supreme Court ruled segregated public schools unconstitutional. Rosa Parks sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, launching the modern civil rights movement. By 1959, the competitive space race heated up as America vied for supremacy.
John F. Kennedy was elected president in 1960, promising an optimistic new frontier. The Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962 brought the world dangerously close to nuclear war. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his historic "I Have a Dream" speech in 1963. Tragedy struck in November 1963 when President Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas. Lyndon B. Johnson signed the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964 into law. American military involvement in Vietnam escalated rapidly, triggering massive domestic protests. The growing counterculture movement challenged traditional American values and social norms. Tragic assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy shook 1968. In July 1969, Apollo 11 successfully landed the first humans on the moon.
The 1970s opened with rising environmental awareness, leading to the first Earth Day. The Watergate scandal forced President Richard Nixon to resign in disgrace in 1974. America finally withdrew all remaining combat troops from the divisive Vietnam War. Persistent economic stagflation and energy crises crippled the nation's industrial output. President Jimmy Carter championed global human rights, but faced severe economic challenges. The Iran hostage crisis of 1979 paralyzed the nation's foreign policy. Dynamic cultural shifts saw the rapid rise of disco music and personal computing. Widespread discontent with the stagnant economy fueled a growing conservative political movement. Ronald Reagan was elected president in 1980, promising a proud new dawn.
President Reagan implemented sweeping tax cuts and deregulation to stimulate financial growth. The administration significantly increased defense spending to counter Soviet global influence. Cable television and MTV revolutionized American popular culture and commercial media. The tragic AIDS epidemic emerged as a major public health and social crisis. Cold War tensions eased as Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev signed historic arms treaties. George H.W. Bush succeeded Reagan, promising a kinder and gentler nation. The Berlin Wall fell in 1989, signaling the collapse of communist regimes. In 1991, American forces successfully liberated Kuwait during Operation Desert Storm. The Soviet Union dissolved in late 1991, officially ending the Cold War.
President Bill Clinton took office in 1993, overseeing a booming peacetime economy. The World Wide Web emerged rapidly, transforming global commerce and daily communication. The contested 2000 presidential election ended with a historic Supreme Court decision. On September 11, 2001, terrorists attacked the World Trade Center and Pentagon. President George W. Bush launched a global war on terror, invading Afghanistan. In 2003, American-led coalition forces invaded Iraq, sparking years of complex conflict. Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans in 2005, exposing deep social inequalities. New technological giants grew rapidly, connecting billions through emerging social media. The housing market collapsed in 2008, triggering a severe global financial recession.
Barack Obama made history in 2009 as the first African-American president. The Affordable Care Act expanded essential health care coverage to millions of citizens. Social movements fought for marriage equality, leading to federal legalization in 2015. Donald Trump won the 2016 election, shifting national policy toward populist agendas. In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic severely disrupted American life and the economy. Deep political polarization and civil rights protests filled streets across the country. President Joe Biden took office in 2021, focusing on infrastructure and recovery. Rapid advancements in artificial intelligence began reshaping major American industries by 2024. By 2026, the United States commemorated its semi-quincentennial amid a rapidly changing world.